this is a requested video. I'm going to be doing fish and chips. This is for Mrs. Tolson and for Tiffany, and we're gonna get started. So what we need are some cod fillets. I prefer cod, but I've done this with basa. It's just as good, but the cod's better, right? So you're gonna need 2 cups of flour, 1.5 cans of honey lager. We're gonna do 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of malt vinegar, and we're going to do 1 shot of tequila. How do you say that? Jose Cuervo? Okay, and we're gonna pour that in here. There we go. Okay, and we're also gonna need potatoes because we're gonna do the fish and chips. I prefer to use Yellow Flesh, Yukon Gold. They're the best ones to use for French fries. I scrub them down, I leave the skin on because that's the way I like it, and let's get started. Okay, so we are going to start with the cans of beer. And pour that right in. There we go, there's 1. And it's still really thick, so that's why you're gonna need another half. So we'll pour the other half in. I'm no fun, it's non-alcoholic. It doesn't really matter if it is or isn't. It's the carbonation and the flavor that you want. Now the tequila, I put the tequila in because it's got a nice flavor to it. And also when you put it in the deep fryer, it burns off quicker and makes it a little bit more crispy. So we're gonna put that in. So here goes the tequila and the malt vinegar, the salt, and the paprika. And we're gonna give that a good mix, just like this. Now, when you've got this all mixed up, the best thing to do is let it sit. You want your batter to sit around for a half hour to an hour for the best flavor and the best crispiness. You don't want to use it right away. It still has to thicken up too. So there you go, that's the batter. Now, the prepping for the fish, what we need to do is take a little bit of salt, just a little bit, and go over the fish like this, and then we're gonna rest it in the fridge, and what this will do will draw out the moisture, and the fish will be just a little bit more firm. Okay, so that's done. And then when it comes to the potatoes, you cut your sections like this. Okay, whatever size you like. If you like them thicker, it's gonna take a lot longer to fry. A lot longer. So we're gonna go on the thinner side with these. And I'll show you, just like this, okay? And depending, this will do about 8 larger fillets, the batter, and then make as many fries as you want. Okay, so I let the French fries soak. There they are cut. You have to dry them off really well, okay, before you put them in the fryer. But to make good French fries, we're gonna do a blanch. Blanching is when you pre-cook the fries for about 5 minutes and about 275 degrees, and then you set them aside after and you let them cool off completely, and then you refry them at 350, 375, and you'll get a nice crispy kind of like McDonald's kind of French fry. So there's a little tip there. So let's drop some of these dried ones in. Okay, and we're gonna do about 5 minutes. They're not gonna be cooked by any means, just kind of pre-started. And then we will get them all in. I'll move them around. Here we go. Okay, so 5 minutes for the blanch. Remove, place them on the plate, and let them cool completely. Okay, so the potatoes have been blanched and they've been completely cooled off. And now we can throw them back into the fryer. I use my basket so I don't burn my fingers off. There we go. Just drop it in. Now we've turned the heat up to, like I said, 350, 375. And this is going to get your French fries nice and crispy. go. And just let them cook. So probably another 5 minutes, and you'll be able to tell when you're using your basket. They're gonna be clinking against it. They're already starting to feel firm now. It's actually going pretty quickly. Beautiful, nice and crispy fries. Okay, the chips are really crispy. You hear them. There we go. I'm gonna put them in a steel bowl. I've salted the bottom. Let them drain for a minute. Drop them in. There we go. Just like that. Give them a shake around and that will salt your fries. Now we're gonna go straight into the fish. Now we've got the oil nice and hot. Now your batter should be like a thin pancake batter. If it's too thin, add a little bit more flour, okay? If it's too runny, but it should be like a thin pancake batter. All right, so I'm gonna drop some fish in. Don't overcrowd the fish too when you're cooking. It's not a good idea. You don't overcrowd the fish. So we're gonna do 2 pieces right now. And when you stick them in the oil, you have to do something called teasing them. You gotta move the fillets back and forth, just like this. Because if you drop them, they're gonna go to the bottom of the pan and they're gonna stick to it. And when you try and roll the fish over, it's gonna curl up. So you're not gonna be able to get both sides. There we go, and then gently one in. Okay. Now we're gonna do that with the next piece. Okay, let it drip off just a little bit. And then tease it back and forth. Just like this. Lower it. There we go. And then slowly start to release it. Because if it hits the bottom, that batter is coming off. This isn't going to take very long. Just wipe my hands off. So you're going to go about 3 minutes on one side and then flip them over. Let's see how they're doing. Lovely. Just let them cook. You'll know. You'll know by looking at it. You want them to be a nice kind of golden color, a little bit of a golden color. Let's get a plate. There we go. We'll put some fries on there. Max just dropped my lemons. Thank you, baby. I prefer Kraft tartar sauce, but you can't find that anymore. I don't know why. It's very upsetting. But the Compliments tartar sauce is actually really quite nice. It's got dill. So we're going to put some of that on the plate. And if I could get the spoon in. Just turn it around. There we go. Just put some on the side. Just like that. Let's check on our fish. Good stuff. You know what? I'm gonna get my tongs. Where are my tongs? There. Just flip them over. They're looking gorgeous. And then we are going to cut the lemon. Check our fish again. Oh, that looks good. Max, pass me some paper towel. There you go. Okay, almost done. here is homemade fish and chips. Nice and crispy. Get a close up with that. There you go.